Happy Thanksgiving to one and all. Happy Thanksgiving, la 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 la. That's a Kelly Burleigh original.
It is.
In case you folks didn't know where the fuck that song came from.
It's the song I wrote.
Kelly wrote it. I believe it's going to be the Jingle Bells of Thanksgiving. I think that is...
I didn't know where you were going, but I appreciate it.
Quite reasonable, forward-looking statement. Anywho, welcome to Parents Night In.
Yeah.
Here at Enough.com.
That's where we are.
It's Thanksgiving time.
Gobble,
in case,
gobble.
In case you didn't notice by the
Gobble,
song.
gobble, gobble.
We're trying something a little bit different this episode. We're sick of movies, frankly. Not really. I don't ever get sick of movies. We decided to try something different. Do a little bit of TV. So because we love Thanksgiving-themed television episodes, and we both grew up with the show Friends, we're watching some of our favorite Friends Thanksgiving episodes.
Now, when you say grew up with,
I was
picture
in
8 years old.
No, I was in college.
Yeah, and I was in high school.
But, you know, I'm very immature. I'm still 12
Okay.
mentally right now.
No,
So
it's true. So you're still growing up.
Yeah, I'm growing up. So we're going to just start with the first Friends Thanksgiving episode, which is called the one where Underdog gets away.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, I was a freshman in high school when this came out.
I was a freshman in college. No, I was a sophomore in college. So
Wait, I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, yep.
I was immediately interested because Courtney Cox was in it, and I knew her from Family Ties originally, but then she was in Ace Ventura that year. And I said, hey, Courtney Cox!
I knew her as the Ace Ventura lady.
And also David Schwimmer I knew from The Wonder Years.
He was in the Wonder Years?
Yes.
Who was he?
Olivia D'Abo's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, I kind of remember this now. Wow,
And
I haven't watched that in a long time.
I knew Lisa Kudrow from Mad About You, where she played
Ursula,
Phoebe's twin sister, except that she wasn't Phoebe's twin sister yet. That didn't happen until Friends came out and became a hit, and they were like, we got to connect these two characters.
Right.
So this is the first Thanksgiving episode, as I said, where the premise is it's their first group Thanksgiving because it's the first time they've all hung out together. And everything goes wrong.
Yeah, well, because
as tends to happen on sitcoms.
They weren't initially supposed to hang out together, but like everyone's stuff kind of falls apart last second.
Everyone was supposed to kind
of
of
and so they cobbled together their first Thanksgiving, which, turned into a Friendsgiving.
Which then became a thing for everyone who is not married with children.
Well, and even those people sometimes do it because that, like, everyone does Thanksgiving with their own family, but you still want to do these kinds of things with your friends and like... Especially if you're foodie friends and you're into foods and stuff.
Yeah. Ross is right. I prefer mashed potatoes with lumps.
I like them both ways. I like lumpy potatoes, but I also like the whipped, like, super smooth ones.
So this first season, it was a really good season, but the show hadn't quite found its footing yet in some ways.
Yeah, it's still, they're all still kind of trying to find their characters and stuff.
Courtney Cox definitely had not quite found Monica yet.
Yeah. I like the evolution of the Monica character a lot.
Yes, I do too. And like by season 2, she had fallen into the groove.
She found her jam.
Yes, but in this, she was still trying to sort of overact and be like the funny straight man. And it was like, no, you got to pick one. You're either the straight man or you're funny. And she finally figured out, like, I'll just be exaggerated OCD, and that in itself is funny.
Right.
Because then everyone else has to react to it.
When you watch shows like this now with the 25 years later lens, you notice things that you would never have picked up on before or that weren't important before.
Like Susan's mom jeans? Jesus Christ, Susan, what the fuck are you wearing? That's awful.
Those are intense. But just like all the lesbian jokes and...
Yeah.
And there's a lot, like the OCD stuff with Monica and, when Monica was overweight and all those things, like they're like, yeah, some of this stuff you kind of can't do with the same lens. But you could do that with every show.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned Ace Ventura. You could never do the first Ace Ventura now.
Yeah, How I Met Your Mother through the 2020 lens, not great.
Yeah.
Ross is,
I feel like...
by far, Ross is like the worst character in the 2020
Why?
lens. He's the worst. He's just...
How?
If you really look closely, like he's super toxic masculinity and...
I don't know if I'd call him toxic masculinity. I think he's just like so beaten down by life that...
He was a terrible boyfriend.
He's mopey and insufferable.
Yeah, I guess. He's a bad boyfriend. He's, overly needy, a little bit controlling.
He's overly needy, definitely. Ross's sweater is awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
His sweater looks like the Himalayas.
It looks like a mountain.
It looks like a range of mountains.
A range of mountains.
Yes.
Rachel's sad because she can't go skiing. But because she's doing this whole independence thing, she doesn't have her credit card, and her dad's not going to buy her ticket.
That's right.
So if she wants to go, she has to buy it herself.
Oh my God, they gave her money to go skiing, or pronounced sheeing. Chandler hates Thanksgiving because his family was dysfunctional.
This is another this is another one of the storylines that like they go really far in on the dad, who's he comes out as gay, and then they go through the whole cross-dressing thing, and they endlessly make fun of that.
They don't. I feel like they didn't so much judge that part of it. They just
It wasn't a judging thing.
It was
but it was a butt of jokes.
It was the butt of jokes. But I mean, it was more the divorce that screwed Chandler up.
No, no, I'm not saying that was.
Yeah.
It's the butt of jokes.
It is.
It's like the focus is the divorce, but then they're always making jokes about the dad's career and all that stuff.
Who was your favorite Friends character?
Oh God, I think Chandler.
Mine too.
Really?
Yes, I love Chandler.
Look over the years, he's probably consistently been one of my favorites. Joey's up there too, though.
Joey got really funny in the later seasons. I won't even say in the later seasons, like starting in like season 4-ish, and then from there he stayed really funny. But like the first 3 seasons,
He's like a one-trick horse.
right? Well, that's how he started out. He started out as the dumb guy.
Yeah.
Who was, I'm a doofus,
I'm
but I
dumb
hook
and
up with
handsome.
women.
Yeah.
But then, like, he started actually saying stuff that was witty,
Yeah.
like inadvertently, and that's what made him great. Like the Chandler goes to complain, and he's playing Chandler's PlayStation, and Chandler's like, another reason I have to hate Thanksgiving, and Joey's like, I'd be thankful for you shutting up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Maybe I should take back my PlayStation. Oh, maybe I love you. That kind of shit is what makes Joey great.
Right.
At the time, Ross was the character I identified with the most because he was the male love interest and was trying to get the girl.
Yeah. I had like a hardcore crush on Ross early on, but I think mostly from like watching the Friends video on VH1 and seeing pictures of him, and I was like, he's really cute. And I didn't pick up on just how annoying he was, because I think when you're young and you're 15, like you're like, that's so romantic.
Right.
But eventually it was kind of like, yeah, no, I'm done with him.
He also got way funnier as the show went on because he just became a caricature.
Well, he became like ridiculous.
But the first 3 or 4 seasons, he's the male romantic that you're rooting for.
Yeah.
But Chandler was consistent all the way through because he's just hilarious.
Right, and sarcastic and fun. Oh, Thanksgiving parade. Is that going to happen this year at all?
I think they're doing a parade, but you can't go to it. You have to just watch it on TV. I don't much care for the Thanksgiving Day parade, but it'll look pretty sweet on this TV.
A number of theatrical and musical performances are scheduled to participate. Ooh, there's going to be a Hamilton performance and a Jagged Little Pill.
What?
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay, now I'm interested.
Yeah. It doesn't say yes or no for the balloons.
He stole my balloons! Underdog has broken free.
I know. Oh my God.
Now they're going up to the roof to watch. Something tells me this is going to go badly because got the keys? Okay.
Yeah. So every time we leave the house together, one of us has to say to the other one, got the keys?
Yep.
And then usually it ends with, seriously though, you have keys? like we don't actually trust that one.
No.
So we say it every time.
But, I pretty much always have the keys because I keep them in my pocket.
You keep them in your pocket at all times.
Ross is visiting his pregnant gay ex-wife to try to have a conversation, get the baby to kick for him.
Yeah. His over-competitiveness with Susan drives me nuts.
I could see that in his shoes, though, like his wife left him for a woman.
Oh, no, I understand it. But it's like a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, Ross. Can you tone it down?
It's not another woman, is it? I just couldn't compete with that. Carol looks bored shitless
She is bored shitless because...
as Ross is talking to her belly.
Right. That couch is phenomenally ugly.
Oh, yeah.
That couch, oh my God. I have not seen a more early 90s couch.
That couch is a CRT television gone berserk.
Good Lord.
Red, green, and blue.
It's got like hunter green. It's not even just like some red, green, and blue tiny stripes. It's wide, huge color block stripes. I still think our current living room is not as big as Monica's living room in that New York City apartment.
Yeah, that's a huge apartment.
That's ridiculous. It's a common topic.
Well, yeah.
How ridiculously huge their apartment was.
Well, that's every sitcom apartment in New York, pretty much.
Yeah. And, the lack of diversity on the show, too, was not quite the best.
I mean, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was every sitcom. Even, like, the How I Met Your Mother apartment has got to be...
Oh, it's unnecessarily
absurdly expensive for New York. But
in the Village, no less.
Yeah. Oh, they burnt the food. I got to take issue with that. I feel like the turkey wouldn't have burnt that quickly.
No. They were out there for a while. They had a lot of keys to go through. But also, what bothers me? She says potatoes are ruined, potatoes are ruined, potatoes are ruined. When you make mashed potatoes, you don't leave the burner on under it.
No, you don't. You boil them, and then you mash them over no burner.
Right.
She's a fucking hack, and she's supposed to be a chef. This is bullshit.
Oh, grilled cheese.
Oh, they're having grilled cheese instead. Monica can't eat an entire sandwich. Jesus Christ, Monica. What were you going to eat at dinner? One slice of turkey breast?
Maybe it's their second round.
No.
Maybe it's a plot device because, they needed a wishbone.
I'm very thankful that all of your Thanksgiving sucked.
Oh, I miss sitcoms. When they end things, and they like cheers.
It's even better when they end with a freeze frame.
Oh, I miss that too. Oh, freeze frame.
Like Family Ties. All right. That was our first Friendsgiving episode.
It's a Thanksgiving frenzy.
Oh, God.
Woo! It's a friends frenzy.
Hey.
Friends-a-roo. Friends-a-reno.
Hey, fart jar. Take it down a notch.
Fart jar. You're just jealous I thought of it first.
First name fart, last name jar.
Fart jar.
So, thoughts on the one where Underdog gets away?
It's fun. It's like, I feel the same way. They haven't quite gotten their stride yet.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like Friends Light.
Friends Light.
Yeah, it's like Diet Friends.
Diet Friends.
So, after you've had a big Thanksgiving meal and you want to, you have something light for dessert, you have some Diet Friends.
You have some Friends Zero.
Yes. That's not quite Friends Zero. It's like, remember when Coke had Coke One? Coke Light? What was that?
Shit.
You loved that shit.
I did.
C2.
I did love it. C2, that's what it was. One time I drank some C4 and I blew up.
That did not deserve a laugh. Oh, doggy.
Hell. God damn this fucking dog. Fuck.
Really?
Yeah. You want to let her out?
You love your dog.
I do love my dog. She's a douche.
I mean, wowzerinos.
I do love my dog, and she is, for lack of a better word, suck. So before we get into this episode, what was it about Friends for you that hit home?
I'm a little bit of an anomaly. I did not watch most of it live because I was in color guard then. And it was on Thursday nights, and I had practice Thursday, 8 to 9:30. And, I had a family with 4 kids and like one main TV, so it's not like I could tape it. I was more of a Friends reruns watcher. So I was aware of Friends. I watched it when I was home and could catch it. But like I didn't follow storylines. It was like I'd drop in when I could see it and then I would be out again. But I followed enough of the pop culture that I knew all the characters and who they were, and I'd seen them all over the tabloids and I'd seen interviews with them. So to me it was sort of just part of the pop culture, but not something I related to at that part in my life. By the time it was in reruns and I watched a ton of it, I was like in my early 20s. And then at that point it was like, oh God, this is like perfect.
Yeah.
Once I really got into it and was starting to sort of watch it in order, it was just in general, I wanted to live with my group of friends and just be with my friends all the time. And, like they had responsibilities and shit, but it just seemed really fun and loose and comfortable. And they had like this great rapport with each other. And I loved that.
Yeah. It started for me when I was like just before that stage of life, really. I was still in college, but by the time I had graduated college, that was season 4.
4, yeah.
So by then, it was like I had caught up to them, sort of, because, they're all sort of in a state of arrested development anyway.
Yeah.
But just the idea of a group of friends sort of in the city trying to
figure out life,
trying to find their way was really appealing, and I related to it.
Yeah.
And after college, I was living with a roommate, and we had a group of female friends that lived down the street. So it felt like a similar dynamic. And like my roommate Bob was dating one of the girls, and one of the other girls was in the band with us, and it was a sort of close group in that same way. So I related to it pretty strongly.
To me, it's sort of one of the first not family comedies I remember.
Yeah. Friends was the 90s Cheers, basically.
Yeah.
Because, the Cheers characters were older, but it wasn't a family comedy. It was a group of adults hanging out in one place most of the time.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's kind of like the summary of it, is that it was my first non-family comedy that I really got into as a person who was close to those people's age.
It's a bunch of Gen Xers hanging out.
Yeah.
Gen Xers rule. So the second one is from season 3. It is the one with all the football, they call it.
Yes.
Where they just break into a spontaneous football game.
We're not watching all of the Thanksgiving episodes.
No,
We've selected certain ones.
Yeah, we picked our 5 favorites.
It's a top 5 frenzy.
Top 5 frenzy.
Friendsy.
FriendzY.
Okay.
You need to make it a Z to make it cool, Kelly.
Friendszy.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, frenzy. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking a Samuel Adams Winter Lager, which I kind of grew out of for a little while, but they made it crisper this year apparently, and I'm enjoying it again. It's a nice break from the norm. So they're going to play football, which is something that every group of friends does at some point.
This was the season where Matthew Perry was on painkillers and got really skinny.
Yeah, I believe this is also the season that...
Gross skinny.
Like, he says he doesn't remember a whole lot of the season at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I noticed at the time, I was like, why is he so fucking skinny? The hell? His clothes are wearing him.
Yeah.
They had kind of touched on this several times already, Monica and Ross's competitiveness, but
their rivalry.
This was the episode where it really came to a head.
Which, like, if you have hung out with a group of people where there's like a sibling pair in the group, it does always go like that.
Yeah.
No, you said it. No, I said it.
Kind of like where your older brother pokes you all the time, pokes the bear, just to piss you off.
You think?
I feel like it's different if the sister is older. It's less competitive that way. Depends on how close they are.
It depends. Well, it depends on the dynamic.
Like my sister and I aren't that close in years, so we never really competed. Their brother-sister chemistry is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm glad that they did not end up dating.
What?
Like Sarah Braverman and her brother.
Sarah Braverman?
Adam Braverman.
Who?
Lauren Graham and Peter Krause.
In what? Gilmore Girls?
In Parenthood.
Oh, in Parenthood.
They played siblings and
They
they ended up
ended up
dating in
dating?
real life.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
They're
That's
still
like-
I believe they're still together.
Like Greg and Marsha Brady?
Ew.
They ended up dating.
I don't know if they dated so much as hooked up.
Regardless, they hooked up. No, Courtney Cox was too busy with Doofus Arquette.
That's true.
That made no sense to me. David Arquette eventually became the WCW champion. Did you know that?
Oh?
Yes.
Really?
WCW put the fucking belt on David Arquette
That's weird.
because they made a movie. What was it called? Ready to Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Called
I
Ready to
remember
Rumble.
This. Yep.
And David Arquette starred in it. So they were like, let's put the belt on him so everyone will see the movie.
Wow.
No one saw the movie. And then no one
Yeah,
watched the
it didn't.
show because they put the top championship on a D-list actor. Way to go, fellas. Of course, the much of the Friends dynamic ended up being, I don't want to say recycled, but co-opted a bit for How I Met Your Mother.
Well, yeah.
A lot of the same character dynamics.
Yeah.
I will say I think How I Met Your Mother is a better show. But the main romantic lead has a college best friend who ends up married to the woman that they're both super close with since they were young. Mm-hmm. And then there's a womanizer in the group. And then there's the other woman who the romantic lead fancies throughout the show.
Yes.
A lot of similar dynamics.
I haven't yet decided if I agree still that it's a better show.
I think it's a better show and it's a smarter show, and they did such an amazing job
that.
of weaving different threads throughout the series and actually sticking to them.
Yes, they
coming
had
back
they were good with continuity
and
like
referring to different things.
that.
And
Not perfect.
they weren't
but good.
perfect. Like Robin's dad ends up being a totally different actor than he started, which annoys the shit out of me. But
Yeah.
there are so many, like they'll reference something from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you remember this thing that happened? Okay, now it's going to pay off here.
Well, yeah,
Like,
they planted stuff at the beginning, like in the early seasons, that paid off in the end.
Yeah, it was pretty brilliant in that respect. Like they had a plan when they started. Chandler and Joey have discovered the same woman, and now they're competing.
Her name is Marha.
Marha. Marha.
Marha.
Marha.
Wow.
That's what Chandler says.
Yeah.
Marha. Kelly came up with this great concept. It's called a fart jar. Basically, you get a nice jar with a lid. You need a lid or else it doesn't work. Anytime you think you're going to fart, you drop trowel, hold the jar up to your buttocks, and then fart directly into it, and then immediately cover that sumbitch. Because you want to save that, am I right? And that becomes your fart jar. And if you're really good, you'll be able to pack multiple farts in there without losing any of them.
I just want to clarify.
Because then it makes a lovely melting pot of farts within the jar.
I just need to clarify for the audience at home that I simply, to make Justin laugh, said the word fart jar. I didn't define it.
You thought of it.
I didn't colorfully.
Some part of your brain had to have been like, yeah, this is a jar that you store farts in, obviously.
After I said it, I was like, well, I guess if he asks me what it means, it's probably a jar that stores farts.
I didn't need to ask you that.
No, you didn't. Well, it was descriptive. See, that's the thing. I'm creative and descriptive.
Okay.
But here's the deal, audience at home.
So here's what happens. You come up with the idea and the name. I reverse engineer it.
You've just described something so vile that I feel like I can taste it in my mouth. That's how gross what you've described is. Seriously, all I said was fart jar. All of the rest of it is all him.
And, if you want to really get creative, what you do, instead of just a regular metal lid, put a nipple on it.
What?
So that you can squeeze the nipple and release just a little bit of fart at a time, and it'll last you all weekend.
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
This marriage?
Everything.
Everything?
2020. I'm done.
I think fart jar might be your best concept yet.
Okay. It was a word. It's your concept.
Hey, fart jar, copyright 2020, enough.com.
Wow.
Anyone is planning to do that fart jar thing, you got to pay me royalties. Pay us royalties.
Yeah, excuse me.
Now you want in.
Now I'm just going to start
son of a bitch.
saying a bunch of words and, hopefully you'll...
hopefully I'll come up with a great idea for them.
Come up with some good inventions.
Go ahead, next.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Shoe jam.
Shoe jam? You want to put jam in your shoe? That just seems weird, Kelly. I was on board with fart jar, but now you've gone depraved. This episode made me want to play like some touch football with friends.
Yeah.
And we never actually did it. We used to live in an apartment that had a little field next to it, and we never got a football game together.
We tried once or twice, and it rained. Rachel is the non-athletic one of the group.
Rachel, well, by
which was
far.
typically me.
Yeah, me too.
I was always last picked.
Yep, it sucked.
Who's laughing now? I came up with fart jar.
Who's laughing now, Doug from 5th grade? Fuck you. What do you do for a living? Drink? I came up with fart jar.
I'm no athlete, but I did come up with fart jar.
Eat a bag of shit,
Jesus.
Doug.
All right.
What?
Is she wearing a wig? Is Marha's hair a wig?
It looks like a wig.
It looks like a wig, huh?
You know who she reminds me of, kind of? Hedwig. Her makeup is way over the top. The wig is over the top. Oh, she chose Chandler, except that Chandler's about to fuck it up.
Yeah,
by being smug about it.
Chandler can't be a big boy.
That was another way I related to Chandler, of course, at the time, was I had no game. I was perpetually single for quite a while.
All of his clothes are completely hanging off of him.
Yeah, because he's super skinny. It was also the 90s. Baggy
That's
clothes.
part of it, yeah.
Baggy clothes were in.
They were all in baggy clothes, but his are particularly baggy.
With the baggy clothes,
like, he can't even get his rolled up sleeves to stay up.
Yeah, because his arms are Q-tips.
It's so sad. He's not having a great time of it.
Now?
In general, yeah.
Why?
He's not had a good run over the last few years. I really miss...
Go on.
I really liked, he had 2 shows. Mr. Sunshine was really good.
I wasn't crazy about Mr. Sunshine.
I liked Mr. Sunshine. Go On was pretty good too.
I liked Go On.
No, I'm sorry. No. I confused them. I really liked Go On.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Sunshine was there.
Yeah.
Studio 60 was amazing.
Oh, that was so great.
They're all wearing different colors. Monica's blue, Phoebe's yellow, Rachel Green.
Oh, look at that, Rachel Green.
Oh, man.
He's had a low profile in recent months. He said he does not remember 3 years of Friends.
Jesus.
So he was 24 to 34.
He was 24 when the show started?
Yep.
Wow.
24. So yeah, he said somewhere between seasons 3 and 6, he was just completely out of it and doesn't really remember.
Wow.
And it was after a skiing accident, so it wasn't just for no reason.
He definitely looked healthier after season 3. By season 4, he looked normal again.
In 2013, he opened up a 5,500 square foot sober living facility.
Really?
And then he sold it in 2015, but he is still helping people with addiction. He was bedridden for 3 months in 2018 from a gastrointestinal perforation.
Jesus. That's awful.
In general, he's just had a rough time. Like, I think his addiction has plagued him for many years, and it's come like this story that I was just reading. It goes in and out of like, and then it was good, and then I was better, and then I was not better, and then I went to rehab again. And he's had many, many stints in rehab.
That's sad.
It is sad.
I like Matthew Perry.
Yeah, he's great.
So that episode, I like that one a lot because it makes me want to get together a group of friends and just fuck around and play some football.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It was a fun change of scenery.
Yeah.
To get them out of the apartment and outside.
Yeah. To show the Gellers' competitive sides, and then the fact that Ross was completely dismissive of Rachel as any sort of athletic, skilled person.
Well, what
I should say, as any sort of athlete.
The
athletic, skilled person. Is that what they call them?
Convoluted Jerry.
Quit not catching that football. Quit not scoring the downs. Yes, no, yes.
So yeah, that's fun. Hey, guess what happens in 5 minutes?
What?
Your birthday! Woo woo!
It's my birthday! All right, so next one, season 5, the one with all the Thanksgiving.
This one was like the first epic one for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's all kinds of flashbacks and backstory and shit.
Yeah, and it's just stuff that like you didn't see coming, and it's really, really funny. And like Rachel has the old nose, and
Ross has the porn star look.
oh god, he's so terrible.
And Monica's heavy set.
Wait.
Oh, what? Was Monica a great big fat person?
I just like to hear you do that voice. No, Ted.
Oh, Ted.
Oh, Teddy
you
Levine.
lovable scamp,
Oh.
psychopath bastard.
Oh, Teddy. Oh, T-Bone.
T-Bone. Instead of T-Bone, you should call him T-Suit.
It almost came out my nose. Wow, that hasn't happened to me in a long time.
Oh, T-Suit, you sick asshole.
Happy birthday!
Oh my God. That was the loudest thing you've ever said.
Really?
That was the loudest thing anyone's ever said.
I don't know if that's true.
No, it's true.
Might be an overstatement a little bit.
It's true.
Happy birthday. We have a new president.
Our new president's birthday is also right now.
Today.
Today.
That's right. Yeah. Happy birthday, Joe Biden.
Happy birthday, Joe Biden.
This is kind of fun, right? Because it's, you know, most Thanksgivings are like the lead up to the meal. This is the after the meal. It's unusual.
And it's also like a clip show, except it's a clip of new stuff that they shot for this episode.
Right, so it's not a lazy clip show.
Right, it's a good clip show. The whole premise is they're talking about their worst Thanksgivings. Chandler's was when his parents got divorced. Phoebe's was a fake one, where she was in the Civil War. And now they're moving on to Monica's, where she met Chandler, who she is currently dating.
If I were in a turkey like that for more than a second,
you'd vomit?
Oh, there would be vomit
and then
inside
you'd choke
the turkey.
on your own vomit?
And I'd probably die. Yeah,
Probably.
because it would just be a cycle of vomit and panic and choke. Maybe if it was cooked, I wouldn't feel so bad. But that's not good.
If it was cooked, you just eat your way out.
Yeah.
Especially if there's stuffing in there.
God, I love stuffing. Let's do that. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Mashed potatoes.
But you can have those literally any time.
I don't care.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes are a masterpiece.
That's the question. That was the question.
It's mashed potatoes are one of the greatest foods ever invented, and it's a side.
That's ridiculous.
What?
So she sits down on the couch and he jumps like as if the whole couch moved. You've never noticed that before?
I haven't.
Rewind it. He does it every like.
He does it
I've
every,
noticed.
He does it every time I watch this episode.
I've I've noticed it many times before.
Yeah, I mean, trying to make Courtney Cox big enough to make that happen is it's an uphill battle. She's like 5'1",
Yeah.
and she's not that big even in the suit. Oh no, Chandler said something about Monica being heavy set, and she overheard him, and she was like, "Fuck this." Oh, there's a different Thanksgiving. It was worse. Oh, now
Why would Ross ring the doorbell in his own home?
That's a good point.
Like, why did he ring the doorbell?
Why are they dressed like Miami Vice in 1988?
Well, when was Miami Vice on?
Like 85, 86.
It wasn't still on in 88?
It might have been, but like this was pretty passé by then, I think.
Yeah, but they're losers.
The Crockett and Tubbs look. The episode after this, of course, was the My Sandwich episode.
This is true.
The Moist Maker.
And now because of that, every time I make a Thanksgiving sandwich, I put a Moist Maker in there.
Do you?
Yeah, I like gravy in my sandwich.
Does someone eat half of it and throw the rest away?
No, and if they did, I would murder them.
So you could go, my sandwich! Chandler's not happy. The whole thing about him losing his toe was just because she was trying to get revenge on him.
Yeah, well, maybe he shouldn't have called her fat.
He shouldn't have called her fat, but what's weird is Matthew Perry actually has a tip of his finger missing.
That is true. Seems like something he'd be over by now.
I mean, it seems like something a little romp in the sack would help with.
Jeez.
And she said, "Is there anything I can do?" And he's like, "No."
Well, I mean, you can turn it on like that. Like if you're really mad, just be like, "Oh, I have an idea. I'm mad at you. Let's go do something." Guys are weird.
No, guys are simple. So is this supposed to be a fake turkey at this point, or did she buy a second turkey?
I have no idea.
Where'd the extra turkey come from that she shoved on her head?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he just told
Especially
her.
since they're done with Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, they were already done eating. All right, that one is way over the top.
That was so fun. I like that one.
But it's fun.
It's nice to look into the past.
They have several episodes that do that.
Yes.
There's one where, I think it's in season 3, where it was like just before the show started, where Monica had run into Rachel and, "Oh, hey, I remember you from high school, blah, blah, blah." And it's where Joey moves in with Chandler and tries to seduce Monica.
Yeah.
Because he thinks she's like macking on him.
Yeah.
And then...
Mackin'. Oh, my Lord.
And
It was very 90s of you.
Carol leaves Ross, and then Ross, in his vulnerable state, tries to hook up with Phoebe.
Yeah.
Phoebe's like, "No."
Was that also the one where they imagined what it would be like if Joey and Monica did
That's a different
hook up?
episode where they imagined where, like, if Phoebe was a Wall Street.
Oh, yeah, if she had taken that stockbroker job.
Yeah. That was later, I think.
Yeah.
Episode 4 that we're watching is from season 6. It is called The One Where Ross Got High. And it is an episode that I quote all the time because of one moment, which we'll get to.
Yes.
Basically, the premise is the Gellers' parents are over, and Monica is still hiding from them the fact that she's dating Chandler.
And they're living together, no less.
And they're living together, that's right.
These are people who do not see their parents often.
Right, and Joey and Ross have plans that they would like to fulfill later with Joey's hot roommate's friends. Oh, Rachel's going to make the dessert this year. This'll go well.
Right, I forgot about that.
This'll go well.
Why is she wearing a
Bandana?
Yeah. Like a Rosie the Riveter bandana.
Because I believe right now she's playing the role of 70s single mom. Who works at a coffee shop.
It's ridiculous. Like, look at her outfit
Yeah,
and tell me
it makes
what
no
that's
sense.
supposed to be.
I have no idea. It's bizarre.
God, the 90s were weird.
She's a nurse. This is a fucking good beer.
I don't know.
Jesus.
Is this the Stellwagen?
It's the Stellwagen. What's it called? Distant Wind. Distant wind. Porter in my glass is delicious. Man.
Oh, that's good.
It's really good. These two fools should have just gone over to Monica's and been like, "Okay, we're literally going to stay for an hour and then we're leaving. And I'm sure you will understand because we're both single and we're both single."
Yeah.
And Monica probably would have been like, "Okay, this is bullshit, but okay, I get it." You know who definitely would have gotten it? Lily Aldrin. If Ted and Barney had been like,
she wouldn't have.
No,
She would have
that's
been
true.
like, no, she would not
That's
have.
true, that's true.
She would have been like, I worked fucking all day making this dinner. You will sit down and you will eat it.
That's true. I'm wrong.
Yeah, what planet were you on for 10 seconds there?
Drunk planet with beer.
If they were in the bar at night having a drink together, she'd be like, oh, screw this drink, go.
Yeah.
Not if she made an entire Thanksgiving dinner.
I retract my
I
entire
don't even
point.
know you anymore.
I retract my point.
Thanksgiving is like a
I
sitting down
know,
eating with your family holiday. It's not a go get wasted holiday. You do it the night before, you do it the day after. You don't do it the day of.
Janine should have been decent enough to invite them over the night before, honestly.
Yeah.
Said, my friends
Yeah,
and I
Janine.
Fuck you, Janine. You and your dancer friends.
I bet you they were dancing in a show. That's why they didn't get invited over.
Maybe they were dancing at a show. Nobody goes to a show on the night before Thanksgiving. Doesn't
Oh,
happen.
yeah?
No.
Says who?
Everyone. You know why? Because this is America. Mm-hmm. And we don't dance before Thanksgiving. We drink.
Yes.
And then we go to Thanksgiving dinner hungover. Elliot Gould is so weird to me because in the 70s, he was like a serious actor.
Like, what was he in the 70s?
Let's look it up. That's a good question. Because I've seen very few of his movies. But sounds like a really uneducated
You know, Elliot Gould was a serious actor. He did movies like Fart Jar 2,
Fart Jar 3,
Fart Jar 3.
Revenge of the Fart. He was in MASH, the original movie. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe he was not in anything where he got nominated, really, other than MASH.
Well, I mean, I've seen him in multiple movies.
But I feel like he was sort of a serious actor, and then by the 90s, he just sort of played a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
He over-delivered every line. I always thought that, too. Tell me, what does your father do? He was like over-deliberate with his delivery. Rachel is presenting her dessert, and it does not look good.
He was in Bugsy and American History X.
Yes, he was. Beef sauteed with peas and onions. So it's revealed later, of course, that the pages were stuck together and she was doing 2 different recipes. But how did she go from dessert food to not dessert food back to dessert food?
It depends on how she was looking at it. I don't know.
What was the dessert on the other page? That was a jerk-off joke.
Yeah, it was.
The pages are stuck together. Chandler!
It lists a bunch of movies he did in the late 80s and then says he continued to act in film, though his roles tended to be less impactful than those in preceding decades.
Well, yeah. Here it is. Joey is giving acting lessons on how to pretend that something tastes good when it really doesn't. It's good. I do that all the time when you make me something.
Pretty much every time.
You should do that when I tell a bad joke. It's funny.
Yeah, I should.
And here is the setup for the other joke that we use all the time, where Ross says to Joey, it tastes like feet.
Yeah.
And Joey says, I like it. Oh no, Phoebe's still stuck on Jack Geller. If she would just pay attention to his overacting, she would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe that would let her...
His overacting has made me over him. Huh?
I love this back and forth where they basically out them for everything.
Yeah.
They out each other for everything they've
done.
been keeping secrets on. Hurricane Gloria didn't break the porch swing. Monica did.
And this is where they finally come to appreciate Chandler, because Chandler has stood by Ross throughout all of his psychotic episodes.
Did you relate to this important moment in Chandler's life where he's accepted by the family?
You mean after we started dating for a few years?
Yeah.
Yes. Kelly's family didn't quite accept me at first. You know why? Because I'm off-putting.
You're too awesome.
As Morgan Freeman said in Seven, anyone who spends a significant amount of time with me finds me disagreeable. But then, when they spend more time with me, they find me pretty cool.
I love how her last name is Pickles. Oh, Christina Pickles.
It's like a cartoon character.
Like Tommy Pickles.
Hello, I'm Christina Pickles. Any questions? Final thoughts on this episode, the one where Ross got high.
I like this one. It's very fun. I like the manic screaming at the end, and I love it when Ross and Monica tell on each other. It's just so much fun. It's a fun episode.
It builds to almost a Marx Brothers type dynamic where it's just zany and all the threads come together at the end.
It's fun all the way through, though. Like, it's a great episode all the way through. There's no dead space in this one.
Yeah.
You?
I mean, the Rachel making the terrible dessert is what carries me through it. It's the butt of so many jokes that last. Everyone reacting differently to it, except basically the same, and then Joey defying everyone's expectations and be like, I like it. Mm-hmm. This is the final Friendsgiving episode that we'll be reviewing tonight.
The ultimate.
The pièce de résistance.
I'm glad we saved this for last.
Yes.
Because sequentially it is last, and also best it is last.
Best it is last?
Well, I wanted to keep my sentence structure the same. That was really important here.
You consider that sentence structure? It's generous. Anyway. This is the one with the rumor. It should just be called the one with Brad Pitt.
Bradley Pitanga.
But it's one of the greatest Friends episodes of all time.
I don't know how many people know this, but his full name is Bradley Pitanga.
Bradley Pitanga.
Yeah.
How did you find this out? Did you go cruising down the Nile?
Cruising down the Nile?
I don't know.
Is the Nile full of celebrity trivia?
Maybe.
That's a weird suggestion you've made.
You know, they call it the River of Nileage.
I think you've mixed a few things up there.
What? So Rachel's preggers. Phoebe gave her some of her maternity pants, and that will come back later in the episode. Monica invited a friend from high school over. Mm-hmm. Joey convinces Monica to make a turkey just for him.
Yeah.
Because nobody else wants to eat turkey, but he wants to.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
What's up, Bradley? God, I love him so much.
Brad Pitt's awesome.
And I didn't back then. Like, back then I was like, We documented this when we talked about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, I just didn't care about him back then. But now, everything Brad Pitt is like, I love him so much.
I liked Brad Pitt back then, but, like, he's gotten so much better as he's aged. I love everyone's reaction to him.
How gorgeous he is.
Phoebe's like, wow.
Mm-hmm. I always get a little bit annoyed that he overpronounces everything in this episode.
Well, I mean, that's how he talks.
I guess. It's just a lot. You can eat and eat and eat.
That's how he talks.
No one says eat.
You gonna question Brad Pitt?
Remember Lay's Bistro Gourmet?
No.
I do.
Were they good?
Yeah, they were good.
Roasted,
they were like overly flavored.
Roasted garlic and herb. That sounds like not my kind of chip.
No, you wouldn't like it.
I don't understand why you flavor potato chips. Potato chips are perfect as they are.
Potato chips plain are perfect, but flavored potato chips are fun.
No.
You know what's the best? Salt and vinegar. Ooh, yeah, baby.
No, those are horrible.
No, they're great.
Somebody spilled salad dressing in my potato chips. I don't like it.
It's not that much different than eating the Barcelona chips with the hot sauce on
No,
them.
it is.
Okay. This episode's really fun because, you know, like, obviously it's a guest star thing, and
it's a guest star thing.
He's not a love interest of anybody, really.
No,
he's just like a super hot guy. And
but he steals the show.
Yeah, they made it really fun.
And he was totally willing to just be silly.
Yeah. And the backstory that they pull into it is so much fun.
Yeah.
The I Hate Rachel Green Club.
And, you know, the irony of the two of them in dating in real life and on the show, Brad Pitt hates her.
Yeah. This is, I think, my favorite Thanksgiving episode of the episodes.
Totally.
So which ones didn't we do?
The one where Chandler's trapped in the box.
Yeah.
The one where Rachel invites her employee, her, like, secretary guy. Tag. And then I'm not sure if there was one in season 9 and 10. I'm sure there was. And this whole saga, Joey is hilarious.
Yeah.
You are my Everest.
Plus, he coined meat sweats.
Meat sweats, yes.
Meat sweats was a very important cultural phenomenon to come out of this.
Yes, and still is. Every time we're
at
Thanksgiving, one of us has to say, oh, I'm getting the meat sweats.
And it's not just limited to the two of us. My brother jumps in as well. He can't finish the meat, though, until he gets pants that will be more forgiving.
Yes, which is where the payoff comes when Phoebe gave Rachel her maternity pants.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Ross may have made out with an old lady.
Do you know what's messed up?
What?
We're closer to 50 now, and I'm like, that's horrifying to them?
Yeah.
Why is it so horrifying? I'm not horrifying. Granted, I'm not that close to 50 like you are.
Hey! You son of a bitch. This is the episode where the mirror behind Ross changes colors multiple times because...
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if the mirror angle...
Well, yeah, because they're pointing at the floor right now.
Earlier, it's pointed to the tablecloth, which is bright red.
Yeah,
It's so strange.
that's right. Oh, yeah.
And now it's bright red again. Like, how did that happen?
What the heck? Oh, yeah.
How did
that
they not
tablecloth-
fix that shit?
tablecloth right there.
Pick
yeah.
one. And now Joey's wearing Phoebe's maternity pants. Everyone should have Thanksgiving pants.
Thanksgiving pants. We should all wear Thanksgiving pants.
We should
this
all
year.
wear them. He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it.
Here comes the next good one.
Here's the next line that I use all the time. Do you want some pie? And I say, just a little sliver. A little bigger. A little bigger. You're afraid you're going to run out? Come here real peace.
His delivery is perfect, too.
Anyway.
He's the best. Our friends have such good Thanksgiving times.
They do have great Thanksgiving times. Why is that the best one, though?
I don't know. Maybe because I just love Brad Pitt so much.
Well, Brad Pitt steals the show.
He totally does. Like, I think in the grand scheme of episodic television sitcom style, I still think that the one with all the Thanksgivings is probably the best front to back episode in terms of like it's chock full of good stuff.
I disagree. I think this one's better.
Yeah.
I think the Brad Pitt one is front to
It's my
back.
favorite.
Perfect.
I think it's my favorite, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily the best front to back technically all the way through a sitcom story.
I think it is because it has...
If you put someone else in Brad Pitt's role, it doesn't work.
They set his character up so well and had such a great payoff for his character that plays out through the entire episode.
But I just mean like the background stories of the friends in the one with all the Thanksgivings is just so like it's rich and it sets up stuff that like they reference for years to come.
Yeah.
But they do it in like a really fun way. So I don't know. I think this one's my favorite, but I think the other one is the best.
I think the one with all the Thanksgivings tries a little too hard.
Yeah, maybe, but that's what Friends did a lot.
It did.
There are some shows that are effortless. Friends is not one of them.
I know.
I think How I Met Your Mother had more effortlessly funny moments.
I agree.
And they tried hard, but it didn't look like they were trying hard.
Yeah.
Like there was effort put in there, but it wasn't like high school play hard.
Yes.
This sometimes was like a bunch of actors trying to steal the spotlight in a high school play.
But that's why I love this one so much, is because they didn't have to try that hard. It was just
Yeah.
like...
It was Brad's show and everyone else was there to watch.
We wrote a great episode and we have the perfect actor to pull it off and just follow his lead.
Yeah. Oh, Ross Gets High is good too. For a similar reason. Like it's a great story and they pull it through really well. So like we watched 5 tonight.
Yes.
The first one is like,
It's not
it's fun.
terrible. It's just they hadn't found their voice yet.
Yeah. And then the football one is good, but it's not like
fun.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, this is the best episode ever. So I have like a top 3 of this 5.
The final 3 that we watched?
Yes.
Okay. I think I like the football one better than the one with all the Thanksgivings.
Really?
Yeah. I find the one with all the Thanksgivings a little bit tedious, honestly. I like the backstory stuff.
Right.
I like the idea that they went for the backstory.
But who had done that prior?
I felt like it was very heavy-handed.
Like if you think back, have many sitcoms
there weren't many
go
sitcoms.
back in that way and use the current actors and not like, oh, let's go back to when they were kids and cast kid actors who look like the adult actors. Like that to me,
There
I think
weren't
was
many
part of the
of those.
revolutionary part of this was
Yeah.
that like they took the actors and made them play those characters as way more immature people.
Mad About
And that's
You-
fun.
Mad About You did it.
Did they?
Yes. There was an episode where they show you how Paul and Jamie met and started
Oh, I've
dating.
seen that.
Yeah.
But they're not that much younger.
No, but
It's a couple of years. This
But-
is like an entire lifetime.
yeah. But it was cool to actually see a sitcom do that.
Right, and to see
I'm
them
sure there were
see
others.
them come together.
can't
No,
think
I
of
know
any.
there are others, but like, it's one thing to go back like, oh, we've been dating for 5 years. Let's go back 5 years to the beginning.
Yeah.
That's one thing. This is we're close to 30. Let's go back to our high school years.
Yeah.
And the maturity difference between late high school, early college, which is where they all were in the flashbacks, to
Right.
late 20s, like that 10 years is a huge 10 years of growth.
It is.
You're a completely different person.
Right. I just think it doesn't work as well for me as the others. But I enjoy watching them all in sequence.
Yes, it was fun.
It's a nice little trip down memory lane. This is what people used to do, is hang out with their friends on Thanksgiving.
Feels so weird. I don't remember
It
what
does.
it's like anymore.
Very weird.
So it's like so far away from
with
our
us,
reality.
it was more like the night before Thanksgiving, we'd go out and drink with our friends.
Yeah, we didn't have Friendsgivings.
But
back then.
it's the same sort of vibe.
Yeah. Well, this was fun.
It was fun. I hope you enjoyed reliving our 20s and 30s with us.
I'm guessing that a lot of people who are joining us for these kinds of things also grew up in the same-ish time period.
Maybe.
Can't imagine many boomers are listening to our show.
Boomers!
Many Zers.
Zers?
Yeah.
Well, there could be some Zers. I think there's probably some Zers. Zers! If you're wondering what it should be like on Thanksgiving when you're Zer, this, basically. Hang out with your friends and have misadventures.
Misadventures.
Because you'll have plenty of time to be responsible adults with children later.
Oh, God. I mean, I think the Zers know that.
Stay as long as you can. Enjoy your Zer time. And then eventually you'll be old like us and
Picking on the next generation.
picking on the next generation. Say, you double-A gen sons of bitches don't know how good you have it, you fuck.
Wow.
What? Want some ribbon candy?
The next generation is Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha. I call them double A's. Like batteries.
Oh. You call them the smallest battery?
They're not, that's not the smallest battery. Thanks for joining
Happy
us.
Thanksgiving! Gobble,
Happy
gobble, boo, bobble,
Thanksgiving
bobble,
to
dobble,
one
gobble,
and
gobble, bobble.
all. Happy Thanksgiving. La 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 la. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and follow us on Twitter, MeWe, and Facebook.